Hello everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you how to install Forge. For this installation, we're going to be installing Forge for Minecraft 1.16.5. However, this tutorial should work pretty similarly for whatever other version of Forge you want. So like, let's say you wanted to install Forge of 1.12 or Forge of any other version. Pretty much most versions of Forge should install pretty much the same way. So, obviously I already have Forge installed here. I was going to try to uninstall Forge, but not going to bother with that. So first off, you're going to need to download Forge, and I will, of course, put all the links in the description below. But we can just get rid of that. I totally didn't get some of the links from someone else's tutorial, which may or may not be as good, if not better, than mine. Basically, we just want to find the version of Forge that we want. We want 1.16.5 specifically for this installation. As for like if you wanted for say 1.15, you would just go over and find that. So whatever version it is you're installing, we're installing for 1.16.5 here. So we want to select installer, and that will take us to this page. Don't click anything. Don't click anything, and just wait until it says skip ad right up here. We just click skip and wait for that to download. Now this type of file can harm your computer. It's not saying that it will. Here's the thing. So with things like .jar files, as 6.9, nice. With .jar files, basically what it is it's a library file. It's a type of file that stores information and can make changes to your computer if you allow it. However, of course, Forge is a mod. It's a community mod. It's not made by an official company, so of course Windows doesn't recognize it as like an authorized file. So don't be too concerned. As long as you're downloading it from the right place, then you don't have to be concerned about it breaking your computer. All that means is just that it's a file that can alter your computer if you ask it to. Which, of course, what we wanted to do is we wanted to alter Minecraft, which is all it will be altering. And by the way, just double-click on it to open it, and you'll show up here on this screen now. Now, if for whatever reason you are unable to open your Forge, or more specifically, if the Forge icon is not this icon, and you're not able to open it, then what you need to do is you need to download Java, because you obviously don't have Java installed in your computer. So, yeah, I hovered over this and it said download Java software, so I know it's the right thing, because sometimes those things are ads. So it will download the latest version of Java, and that'll take a minute. Now that that's downloaded, you'll just open it up. Yes, you'll click yes. Alright, just click install, and it will install Java. This won't hurt your computer if you already have Java installed, which is why I'm installing it again, even though I already have it installed. What am I doing with my life? Out-of-date Java versions detected. Yeah, you can uninstall them. If you have out-of-date Java versions, you can probably just uninstall them without being concerned. It's probably fine. And you have successfully installed Java. Good. Now, if for whatever reason the jar if for whatever reason it's still not working, then the other thing you're going to want to do is try to download JarFix, which fixes the thing that's broken. So I'll hover over this for a second. Okay, so here we go. There we go. And that's pretty quick. And then you can, of course, you can open files by clicking here. We can also go into your downloads, found right here. And you can just double click, of course. Click yes. Click OK. And it should be fixed. Didn't really read what it says. Yes. It's been registered successfully. I should have actually read what it said. I just didn't expect it to do it that quickly. Okay, I haven't used Jarfix before. I found it from another tutorial. Psst, don't tell anyone, but I might have stolen some of this content. Of course, links to these in the description below, as well as the pinned comment. Now, assuming you're able to actually open the file, let's get into what to actually do when installing Forge. So, we have a couple different options here. We have extract. I don't know what this does. Don't ask me. I'm just a poor kid in high school. Install client and install server. Hold on. Let me Google. I want to make sure I'm giving the right information here. Hold on. What is the difference? Ignore this.
A few moments later.
Okay, so after some quick Googling, I'm pretty confident that if you're installing server, you only have to worry about that if you are running a Minecraft server from your computer. So install client should give you what you need in order to be able to join a modded server run by somebody else, and it will also give you what you need to be able to run Minecraft Forge in single player. So unless you yourself are creating a server, you don't need to worry about install server. You only need to worry about install client. So we're going to install that. Successfully installed client profile Forge for stuff. Yeah, just click OK. So now what you're going to want to do is we'll just close it and reopen it just to make sure. I also have stuff in my recycle bin. Get out of here. Go. Bye. Leave. Yes. Go. Okay. So we have some options here. This is Optifine. This isn't a tutorial for Optifine. This is something different. Ignore that. Ignore Optifine. Optifine isn't important. That's just a me thing that has nothing to do with Forge. So we have right here we have Forge 1.16.5. So we're gonna want to click on installations right here at the top. Click on this. Make sure it's using what we want it, which is release 1.16.5 Forge. We're gonna call this 1.16.5. It doesn't matter what you name it. This is just so you know what it is, and you can change the icon to whatever you want as well. I'll just use the default one here. We could change it to something else, like a furnace or something would probably be a good one as well. And for older versions of Minecraft, for older versions of Forge, it won't have an icon by default, so you might have to choose one. Game directory, we'll just leave that at default, and that all looks good, so we'll just save it. So we're gonna play. We'll click on this little arrow here, drop down, and we got 1.16.5 Forge, so that's good. One thing I almost forgot to say is that before you install Forge, you need to have Minecraft of that version installed. So all you need to do is make sure that you have played, like if you're installing Forge for 1.16.5 and you have played 1.16.5 without Forge, then you do not have to worry about this at all. But let's say you want to install Forge for 1.12 and you have not played normal 1.12, then you're going to want to make sure to play normal vanilla 1.12 first. Vanilla or unmodded. So you need to play the normal unmodded version of the Forge you're downloading at least once. So like just as a brief example, let's say I wanted to make something for 1.8 or 1.9 or something. Like let's say I wanted to download mods for 1.9, right? So I would click on installations. Again, I would make a new installation. I would call it 1.9. You can change the icon to whatever. Probably a grass block since it's vanilla Minecraft. And then you just click on this little arrow here, you just scroll down. You're like, where, you just find it, 1.9, and you would just pick 1.9, and then you would just click create. You would go back to play, find it in here, click on 1.9, and you would click play, and you would play it. And we're not downloading Forge for 1.9, we're doing it for 1.16, so we're not actually going to play 1.9, but if we were to play 1.9, it would download 1.9 and make it functional. So basically, like, you would just need to make sure, which you probably don't have to worry about this, but if you do, like, just make sure you've played the normal version of the Minecraft version you're downloading Forge for before you try to install the Forge. Now that we have 1.16.5 Forge selected, we can click play. We're about to play an installation of Minecraft that has been modified. All it means is that it's modified, right? That's because we want mods. So, of course, it's modified. So it's just letting you know that this is not official. But major things like Forge, they've been in the community for like years. It's a really big thing. So, like, you know it's trusted. But of course, we don't have any mods installed, which makes Forge kind of pointless. All it does is adds this little mod menu, which shows you that you don't have any mods. So that's kind of boring. So let's get some mods in here. Now I'm going to link right here to mods, the mods page of curseforge.com, which is a great place to find mods. Another good way to find mods is through YouTubers who review mods. And I am going to link to a good channel that I personally enjoy in the description and pinned comment as well. Now, when you first click on a mod page, say you click on it and you select it here, you're going to come to the description page, which is going to tell you a bit about the mod, how it works, and all that. And you're going to want to click on Files. If my browser will be able to actually take me there. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You have to make sure you're downloading the right version of the mod. You notice here it says game version 1.12.2? Yeah, that's not what we want. Because we want 1.16.5, because that's the version of Forge that we installed. If we had installed Forge version 1.12.2, then that's the game version we would want. But it's not. Wait, it's not the version we want, so we want 1.16. So we're going to want to look down here. We're going to want to find the right version. And you can see there's a lot of 1.16.5 versions. But I'm actually going to install one for 1.16.4. Now, you might be wondering why. And the reason is because it actually is cross-compatible. If it's 1.16, then it should be cross-compatible. You don't need to worry too much about the point. You only need to worry about this part, not this part. That part doesn't matter as much. And we're just going to click download here. And we're going to download this version. Your download will begin in a few seconds, and then it will start to download. It says if it doesn't start downloading, it will click here. But you can usually just give it a second, and as you see, now it is downloading. So this will take a minute. Now, again, it's going to ask if you want to keep the file. Just like I said earlier about Forge, you don't have anything to worry about. Just click keep. And just close the download page. And I'm going to do the same with a few more mods. Just remember to make sure that's the version that you want. Now, most importantly, we want to make sure that the best mod for Minecraft is installed.
A few moments later.
Forget installing Optifine for this tutorial. So now we have a bunch of things in our downloads folder. What are we going to do with them? Well, if you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me, it will be a lot less painful than the neurotoxin. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong game. So basically, I have a folder with a crap load of mods in it that I keep on my desktop. You could keep yours wherever you want, but I recommend you have a folder. You have a folder outside of your game folder. Basically, I recommend you have a folder where you can keep the mods. So I'm just gonna make one called tutorial thing. That 4. We'll accidentally throw a 4 in there too. That works. So we're just gonna put all our mods right in here. So we're just gonna drop in just enough items, storage drawers, corks, Bimes aplenty, and Optifine. I haven't actually used storage drawers. So that's a mod I am not familiar with. So That'll be fun to test out. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to open up Minecraft, and we're going to want to click on Installations. We're going to want to, we're going to want to hover over it, right? And click on this little file icon. And now we will have a bunch of folders. Now, if you want my advice, you should just if you want my advice, I would highly recommend you pin this folder. I don't remember how you do that, but just look up how to pin folders on Windows 10, and the answer should come up somewhere. But you can always just find it the way I just showed you. So you're going to you should have a mods folder now. Now, when you run Forge once, it will create this folder. But you can also just create your own, as long as it's in all lowercase and is typed MODS, mods. That's simple. As long as it looks like that, it'll work just fine. So we're just gonna drop all our mods in there and no, we're actually not. Now, if you're working with a bunch of mods that you know are compatible, let's say someone were to send you a bunch of mods that they have played with together before, then you would just pop them in, and it would be just fine. And by the way, actually, you would probably want to copy and paste. So you just you click, drag, right click, copy, click on this, right click, paste. The thing is, we don't know that these mods work together. Now, just because they're all for Forge does not mean that they are all compatible. So what I generally like to do, just enough items, it's a really simple mod. So, here's the thing, by the way, this and this are actually on two separate hard drives on my computer, which is why it copies the files instead of moving them. On your computer, there's a decent chance it would just move the files. So, like, if I were to move Biomes Aplenty over, it might be over here instead of over there. So, sorry, that's a little hard to explain, but you're probably gonna have to copy paste them, or you could just move them. Whatever way, it doesn't really matter too much. But we're gonna start with Biomes Aplenty, just enough items. That should work fine. Optifine Forge should work fine as well. And Cork should work fine as well. These mods, I'm gonna guess, are probably gonna be compatible. So we're gonna start off by running Minecraft with just those mods. Here's the thing, if you're working with your own mods, I usually like to... Oh wow, it looks like you have not put Optifine itself into the mods folder.
Forget installing Optifine for this tutorial.
Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to test it with these mods. Forget about Optifine. It's just being confusing. So, just going to wait for this to load in here. Now, I know it has a red screen. Don't worry, that's normal. That's just because that's the Mojang Studios logo before it loads in. Since they changed it in later versions, like, the default screen is now, like, red. ModQuark requires auto reg lib. This is a great example of how we can now figure out dependencies. Now, this is something that some mods have, is some mods are dependent on other mods, or they require other mods as well. And as you can see, if you click on Relations, you can find this mod here. And so we just have to click on Files. Again, we just have to find what we want, click on Download. And by the way, another great tip is to save all your mods in a text file. So like, say you have this, like I have a whole bunch of links saved in here in this text file to the various mods and such, which is very useful. You can of course just copy paste those into the browser. Let's just take this, right click, copy, go up into here, paste, hit enter, and of course here we are, we got that, and of course keep. And you can also just do Control C, Control V, which is like a keyboard shortcut. But yeah, so I recommend keeping a list of all the mods that you've downloaded and having links to them. So we're just going to close that. So what we want is to go to downloads here. We just want this. I'm going to copy, paste. That should work this time. Click on play. So, just gonna go back. I'm gonna put this mod back here with our. Oh, that was the wrong folder. I'm gonna select this folder. Go to here. This is the mods that we have that we can install, and I'm gonna move this over there again. You see, that's how it probably would work on yours. Is it would just move the file, but yeah. So here we are, and it's going to be loading that. And now we have a bunch of mods. We have Biomes Aplenty. We have just make it full screen there. We have AutoRegLib, which is just a library mod for Quark. We have Quark, and we have just enough items. So this appears to be working just fine. Create new world. We're going to call it mods test. We're going to make it creative. I highly recommend making your test worlds creative mode. Worlds using experimental settings are not supported. The world uses experimental settings. I think that's for any mod that affects world generation, and Biomes Aplenty, as well as Quark, both affect the way your worlds are generated, so keep that in mind. That shouldn't be a problem though. It just means it affects the way worlds are generated. That's the kind of point of the mod. So here we are in a completely foreign biome. This is Willow Log. I don't know what this is. This is mud. This is a very oh, maybe Herobrine's been here or something. I don't know. That's weird. So yeah. It's like, oh no, there's a log block missing. Maybe it's Herobrine. Scary. But yeah, so this appears to be working just fine. We can go into here. We can click on this arrow. You can see Biomes Aplenty adds a whole bunch of new stuff. And so you can click on these arrows here, and it will show you the different things. We also have the Just Enough Items mod, which shows you a complete library of stuff. We could say, for instance, look up fence, click on it, and see its recipe, which I think also, yeah. Ooh, cool. If we say pick a block, let's pick a good one. Right, and we hit R, we can see it. We can hit R, see what recipes it's used in, where you can get it. We can use the R key to find out stuff about different blocks. Yeah, so we still have another mod to try out. And here's the thing, if you download a bunch of mods that you think would be really cool to play with each other, don't test them all at once. The reason why I installed these mods all together at once is because each was fairly simple. Just Enough Items doesn't really change anything. It just gives you a list of all the items in the game. Quark, it adds a few things to vanilla. And Biomes Aplenty affects terrain generation. These mods are fairly simple mods that I was pretty confident wouldn't conflict with each other because I knew about them. But if you don't really know the mods you're working with very well, if you're not very confident that they will work together, then you definitely want to add them one at a time. Add one mod at a time. Don't throw them all at once. Okay, if you throw them in all at once, and then you have a mod that that isn't working, how will you know which mod isn't working? You won't. So that's why you want to add them one at a time so you know exactly which ones are working and which ones are not. Install them one at a time, test things out, see how it works. So you're going to want to quit, relaunch the game, and we're going to want to open up launcher again, click play again. So we're just loading this in. Now, going in, you can see we've got storage drawers here. Go back into mods test, which is our world we created. And I'm going to have one final note to end off the video. Okay, I know what I'm doing. We could just say I'm doing, skip that, because it like alters world generation. It didn't used to give warnings like that in older versions of these mods, but now it does, which is a little annoying. But that's okay. You know, Minecraft has just put in more features and warnings for modded content, but it's still not anything you really have to worry about. Now we have storage drawers. And I have no idea how this mod works, because I've not used it. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could, like, take items. Oh, so you left click, and you right click to put them back. Okay, so you left click to grab the item, and you right click to put them back. Cool. And what if I'm in creative mode? It also works in creative mode. And it deletes the blocks that way. Okay, that's cool. So, that's how that mod works. So, that's pretty much that. So, I hope you know, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. And this is important. If you're playing with mods in different worlds, you don't want to open up a vanilla world while you're playing with mods. And if I say where to, let me just show you. Let me delete Biomes Aplenty and storage drawers from my mods here, quit, and relaunch the game. Okay, so here we are, where we load it back in. As you see, we don't have Biomes Aplenty or storage drawers any longer in our modded world. I mean, in our game. But if we go here into mods test, try to load it. Now, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to give us a warning, right? No, this is a different warning. If we go in, let's see what happens. Because this world has content that we no longer have. Okay. Now, as you see, missing blocks. There are missing blocks here. Because a whole bunch of things are gone. They're missing. Because it's trying to call items that don't exist. So, yeah. Let's try quitting. And in some cases, this could even crash the game. So you want to make sure you know what mods you're using with what worlds. You don't want to, you want to make sure that you use the same mods and worlds consistently. We're going to pop both of those back into there. And we're going to reload the game. And I'm going to see, because I wonder, when I reload it, will it work? Because I don't know. But you want to be careful. You want to be careful with that. You want to make sure that you keep that when you load a world with mods, that you use the same mods. You want to be careful what mods you remove. Some mods you don't have to worry about removing, you'll be fine. Like if I would have removed just enough items, I would have been fine. But otherwise you do want to be careful because things will break when you remove the mod. They will, I'm just saying, they will break. How they will break, it can vary depending on the mod and the situation. But things will be broken if you remove a mod that was used in a world. So, there are some mods that only affect UI, which won't affect, but if it's a mod that changes things in the world, like, especially with blocks, items, mechanisms, okay. Okay, well this actually did work. This is a little bit broken, kind of. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. But no, it's actually working. Okay. Well, anyways. Yeah, I didn't expect it to. Okay, well, either way though, you still should be careful with making sure. Yeah, like look at that. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Is that supposed to be like that? I don't think so. Okay, yeah, definitely looks like there's some issues here with how things generated. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that I loaded the world without mods. So I think it broke some of the terrain generation too a little bit. So if you try loading a world with mods and load into it without mods or without some of the mods, then it might be broken. You could of course add mods though, and worlds will usually be fine. It depends on It depends on what mods you move or add. It could depend. Circumstance is a big difference. Context can make a huge difference with what mods you're adding or removing, but that is something you want to be careful with. And I highly recommend you back up your worlds if you're planning on changing any of the mods you are using in them. So basically, don't load modded worlds into vanilla, into non-modded when you're without the mods. And of course, don't remove mods and load a world that have them installed, or else it will probably mess some stuff up. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. And of course, let's say you want to play normal Minecraft, because very lastly, if you're playing Forge, joining a server that doesn't use Forge probably isn't going to work. So we're just going to want to click latest release. And we can just go back to playing normal vanilla 1.16.5. So that has been this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I really tried to cover everything and tried to be more clear in this one, and tried not to get too off track. So hopefully it came out okay. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. And if not, you could always try looking up some other tutorials, because there's probably other tutorials out there. But either way, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and all that. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and good night. Bye.